Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a what I read during the summer video for you guys. I feel like it's been forever since I've done like a sit down video, and I have read not as much as I usually do because I feel like summer there's so much to do and you're outside, and so I haven't been reading that much, but I've read a fair amount, and I haven't done a what I read in a month video in a bit. So I thought this could be fun. I was gonna go in order starting with May. June was a very light month for me. But I think I read like 6 books in May. The first one I read was Expiration Dates. This was a really cool concept. So basically, the main character will receive a slip of paper saying the name of the guy and how long they're going to date right before a relationship starts. So all of her relationships up to this point, she's known exactly how long until they were going to end. And finally, she receives a slip of paper with no ending on it. So it's pretty cool. I wasn't super attached to either of the main characters. I did really enjoy the storytelling though, and it went back to her previous relationships while coming back to the timeline of her current relationship. So I love a dual timeline. Yeah, it was just really cute and fun. I gave it 4 stars. After that, I read Swift and Saddled, which was the second in the Rebel Blue Spring series, which I read, and I loved the first. It reminded me of Heartless, which I love, so I was super excited for the second. Honestly, I wasn't as obsessed with the second as I was the first. I don't know, it felt a little insta-lovey for me. Basically, she meets this guy at the bar. It turns out that it's her boss. They hook up. And then she's just she's from the city. She's an interior designer hired to help him decorate this ranch. And he's just instantly obsessed with her. And she's a commitment phobe. So she doesn't want to get with him. And so the entire book is just her saying she's going to leave and him saying she's going to stay type vibe. So I wasn't super obsessed. It was still very cute. I think I gave this 3 stars though. I read Prisoner's Throne. Also, if you guys are interested in seeing what I read in closer real time, I have been blogging a lot of what I've read over the summer. And you'll know that this took me probably 2 months to read, which is insane for me. I don't know. I just wasn't eager to pick it up ever, which I was kind of disappointed in because I loved the first in this series, and I love Holly Black, most of her books. I think all of her books I am a big fan of. And I love the world too. The Cruel Prince world, it's just so cool. And I really do enjoy the 2 main characters, but I honestly, I wasn't super invested in the plot throughout. I loved the way it ended and the relationship between the 2 main characters, but I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. Next, I read Colty. I am a big Mariana Zappos fan. I think that's how you say it. I've read When Gracie Met the Grump, and I loved that. I really liked From Lukov with Love too, and so I'm trying to slowly get through all of her books. This wasn't my favorite of them though. I honestly, I'm was I just in a reading slump? Because I feel I wasn't obsessed with any of the books I read this month. One, I'm not the biggest fan of age gap romances. This wasn't too bad. She's, I think, 24 and he's 35 or something. Maybe 40? I don't know. Either way, she's a soccer star. He's the coach. It's very minimal interaction from them at the beginning. Literally, her books are so huge, and it's such a slow burn, which I like a slow burn, but I also I like spice and I like tension in my books. So her books, it's literally you're looking for crumbs throughout, and I just wasn't obsessed with that because it was so much of just soccer and just this and them glancing and them being mad at each other, and I'm just I would just like them to get together, but it's a slow burn, then they're friends, and then the last 30 pages, you get what you've finally been waiting for. But I did still enjoy it. She's such a good writer, and she does create this tension and slow burn so well, and the hate between them at the beginning was so good. But still, I think I'd give this 3 stars. Next, I read Praise. This was a recommendation from Tirza. Thanks, Tirza. I borrowed her book. Yeah, it's again for what it is, I gave it 3 stars. I liked it. It's basically just smut, huge age gap. It's her ex-boyfriend's father. So he basically runs this very successful kinky company. They basically own a sex club type vibe. I don't know. It's much more in depth than that, but I don't really think it changes my review of it getting into it. But yeah, it was good smut. It was entertaining, but it wasn't like my favorite. So 3 stars. Next, this is when I felt like my luck changed. I read The Dixon Rule and I was obsessed with it. It's so good. It follows, it's the sequel to The Graham Effect. So it's in the Elle Kennedy like hockey universe, which is just my favorite universe ever. Like, The Deal is what got me into reading romance. It's just, I love that series. I will forever recommend it. And this one I liked, I think, even more than The Graham Effect. Like, I loved, it didn't take place during the school year, so it was over the summer, and they're neighbors, the 2 main characters, and she just, like, does not want to get involved with him. She's like, you've dated all my friends, and he just is, like, silly and goofy, and, like, just, like, they slowly like win each other over basically, and they are fake dating to make his ex jealous and to get her ex off her back, and then he like helps her in a dancing competition. Like, it's just really cute. They become obsessed with a reality TV show together. I just like very much enjoyed it, and it was so cute. Very good smut. Yeah, I gave this 5 stars. I have no notes, and I'm so excited to keep going with this series. It's so fun. After that, I read The 5-Star Weekend by Ellen Hildebrand. I love Ellen Hildebrand. I'm slowly making my way through all of her books as well. And this was just so cute. It's just like the perfect summer book. Like, I read this in a day, I'm pretty sure. I went to the pool, I started it, I went home, and I finished it. I couldn't put it down. It was so fun. She basically invites 5 people from different parts of her life to come to the beach house on Nantucket, of course, with her for the weekend, and like plans out this elaborate itinerary. And the book like follows each woman and what they're going through in their personal lives, as well as what's happening in the weekend. And so it's just super interesting. It's like fast paced, so that like if you're not interested in one character, you'll quickly move on to the other one. And then her daughter's there as well, and it's her relationship with her daughter because the father has just died, and so they're struggling a bit as well. It's really cute. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I think I gave this, I honestly don't know what I gave it, 4 or 5 stars. I'll put it on the screen, but I very much enjoyed this and would recommend it. Next, I read Love Interest. I actually got this book from my mom. She's into workplace romances because she's writing one right now. And so I borrowed it after she read it. It's really cool. They're basically working at like a BuzzFeed-like place, and she gets passed up for the main job. And the guy who gets it is the boardman's son, I think, the chairman's son. And so she's like automatically hates him because she thinks he's a nepo baby, which he kind of is. But then they like slowly like become friends, and yeah, I just really liked the setting. It was fun. Nothing revolutionary, I'd say, though, so I give it like a 3.5 stars. And that is everything I read in May. So moving on to June, again, I was slow moving through this month. I had a lot going on, but I did slowly read Guilt Trip. I think that took me almost the entire month to read, which, again, I don't know. When I take a while to read a book, is it because I don't like the book, or is it because, like, I'm just busy and I'm not getting to the book? But then I'm like, sometimes I'm really busy and I finish a book just because I really like it, you know? So I feel like the longer I take to finish a book, though, the less likely I'm going to like it, because I don't get as wrapped up into the world and the characters. So this one was a little hard for me because I picked it up and set it down so many times. But it is a romance that takes place in Scotland. And it's about this girl who works for kind of like a travel-ish company. She comes in and helps different tour groups and stuff fix up their business model. She comes into this guy's family business and is basically trying to like completely change it, and he does not want it to be changed at all, of course. And so they're bickering over that, but of course they also like are instantly attracted to each other and like each other. So it's him trying to get her to fall in love with Scotland and all his tours, which is really cute. And then she like is like this free-spirited, like does not want to be tied down and is like wants to leave. So again, it like kind of has this expiration date on it, which I am not always obsessed with. But other than that, I did mostly enjoy it. So I think I gave this 3.5 stars. It would be like the perfect Hallmark movie. I literally, like, when I say the plot, I'm like, yeah, this is a Hallmark movie. Something that would also make a good Hallmark movie. Practice makes perfect. This is the sequel to When in Rome. And so this is the sister of the male main character from the first book, and then the bodyguard of the female main character, because she's like a pop star. And so it's the two of them. She's like the very, like, quiet younger sister who just, like, is always trying to please everyone else, and then he's just, you know, this, like, really sexy bodyguard who everyone's obsessed with. And so he starts giving her dating lessons, and it's very cute, it's very sweet. There's no miscommunication trope in this, which I love. I hate the miscommunication trope. And so they basically, like, have this thing where they're just, like, completely honest with each other. So, like, as soon as the other one starts to like them, they just, like, talk about it, which I'm like, what a revolutionary concept. Yeah, but there's also, like, kind of an expiration date on it because he, like, does not want to stay in this small town, obviously. But yeah, it's really cute. I love the setting of the small town. I love the characters from the first book. We still see them and see what they're going through. Yeah, and I really like her family, and it's super enjoyable. So I give this a 3.5 stars. No smut. If you like smut, I don't think this author writes it. I'm trying to think. She also does the cheat sheet, and I don't think there's any smut in that either. Yeah, so closed door romances. Next, I read The Paradise Problem, which I loved. I really like Christina Lauren, and this got me into a little bit of a Christina Lauren kick. I loved The Unhoneymooners. That's, like, probably one of the first romance books I read when I was, like, getting super into romance. She's great author. Yeah, I really like all of her books. And this was just, like, the perfect vibe for summer. They're on, like, this private island. His family's super rich. She married him basically for housing 5 years ago, not knowing that he married her to get his inheritance. And so this is, like, their final, like, charade that they have to do together for him to get his inheritance. And it's the sister's big wedding. So they're on this, like, crazy private island doing all these fun rich people events, pretending to date, like, staying in this little villa on the water together. It's super cute. Such good vibes. Yeah, and I really liked them. I really liked also, like, the plot and the way it moved through. Like, sometimes you, like, kind of reach, like, a block in, I feel like, a romance book where you're like, I'm either, like, bored and I'm ready for this to end, or I'm like, I wanted them to be happy in this to be, you know, like, type thing. But no, I really liked it throughout. I give this 4 stars. Would highly recommend. I, like, had some back-to-back faves. This summer will be different. This is Carly Fortune. This is her 3rd book. I've read the past 2. I loved the first one. I know Meet Me at the Lake gets a lot of hate, but I actually didn't dislike it. I just didn't like it as much as the first one. But so I was curious how this one would be received, and I feel like people mostly like this. I certainly loved this. This is Best Friend's Brother. This is dual timelines. I love a dual timeline. So they've met, like, 6 years ago, and this summer the best friend's getting married, and they're back on the island, and the sister's, like, going through it. And so the two of them are, like, trying to figure out what's going on, but then it, like, will do flashbacks back to the other summers she spent with a brother. It's just so good. It's really fun, and I love the setting of this, like, this cute little beach town in Canada. Like, it's so fun. Such the perfect summer book. Yeah, I give this 5 stars. I have no notes. And that is all I read in June. As I said, it was a little bit of a light month, but I tried to make up for it. I mean, it's August now, and I read, like, it's August 9th? And I read 4 books, so we're doing better this month. But July, I tried to make up for it a little bit, too. I started with the Intimacy Experiment. I think I talked a bit about all of these books in the vlogs, but the Intimacy Experiment, it's about a rabbi and then a past sex worker who now runs, like, this, like, very sex-positive company that does, like, tutorials and stuff. I don't know. If you read the first in the series, The Roommate Experiment, it gets more into the business. This is a sequel to that, and it follows the, like, ex-girlfriend of the guy from the first book, which is funny, but, like, she became, like, best friends with the female main character in the first book, so they're also in this a little too. But I read that book so long ago that I, like, couldn't really get didn't really understand most of the callbacks. But yeah, on its own, I'd say this is a pretty fun, easy book to get through. Honestly, it's not as heavy on smut as I would have expected for something called The Intimacy Experiment. But it's basically, like, they're teaching a dating class together, so it's really cute. But again, like, nothing revolutionary, and I wasn't, like, super excited to pick it up. So I give it 3 stars. And then I think I have this. Oh, I'm forgetting that I do have some of these in front of me. Next, I read Anna Maria and the Fox, and this I'm pretty sure I talked a lot about this on the blog, so I won't get too much into it, but I saw her at a book signing with Ali Hazelwood, and so I wanted to get into the series. This is really fun. If you're in your Bridgerton era, this is kind of like Regency era. These 3 sisters go to London during the French occupation of Mexico, and they're staying with their uncle, and they're basically like trying to come into society in London. And then it's the eldest daughter, and then this guy who was previously poor but has worked his way up and now is like a member of parliament. And so he's like very serious. It's just them, getting to know each other. Honestly, like not too much like romance. It's a lot of like talking, and it's like serious issues. There's a little bit of smut, I think. Is there might, I don't think there's too much. Either way though, like it's like heavy on like good writing and good plot, which I appreciate. I'd say I'd give this like 4 stars. I really liked it. It was fun. Body Check by Elle Kennedy. I didn't realize this was her very first hockey romance, and I guess they like just reprinted it because it was in the new releases at the bookstore. So I picked it up. Super cute, and it's not like a college hockey. So if you don't like like romances that take place in college, she's a professional hockey player, and her dad owns his team. And so it's just her basically like, I don't want anything to do with you, and him trying to seduce her, and then they get into like a little friends with benefits. And then they fall in love from there. It's super cute, super easy read. I enjoyed it. 4 stars. Next, I read a short story by Christina Lauren. I think this is in like a series of short stories with like a bunch of different authors are doing. But this was the exception to the rule. And so 2 people accidentally email each other, and then it's their emails over the course of like, I think like 7 years or something. It's over the course of a long time, and then it like the emails finally stop, and then you get to like see who each character is. It's really cute. It's super easy to read. Again, short story. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like the kind of like the twist of them meeting each other. Yeah, I gave this 3.5 stars. And then next, my final Christina Lauren book of this video, Something Wilder, which I really enjoyed. I'd seen this book like a couple different places and have been wanting to get into it, but I didn't like really read about it. I didn't realize it's like kind of like an adventure-y romance, which I don't think I've ever read anything like this. It was really cool. The female main character's dad is like this famous like treasure hunter, and she does like these tours through, it's not actually the desert, I don't know, but she does these tours, and her like first love is on one of them, and then it just like spirals from there, because I was like, oh, this is gonna be like, just like them like traveling together, basically. It's slowly reconnecting, but no, it like goes off the rails, and I don't want to like say what happens because it was such a surprise for me, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, like it's the adventure aspect of it is really cool. I love all the characters. There's a really good twist, and I liked how they ended it. So yeah, I very much enjoyed this and wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. So 4 stars. Next, this was highly anticipated for me, Play Along by Liz Tom Ford. I loved this book so much. I really like this series too, and I especially liked the one before about his brother, so I was like really excited for this one. And even like the build up in the last book of Isaiah and Kennedy was just so fun, so I was super excited. And also, like, I'm normally not a fan of Marriage of Convenience, but they did it so well that like I have no complaints here. Like, I just loved, he's like so obsessed with her, and her like slow, love of him. And also just like she had like such like a rough family experience, and like he did as well, but in a different way. And so the way that they like help each other heal is just so sweet. And I just have nothing but good things to say about this. 5 stars. You should read the series. Please do. My final book of the video is going to be Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I just finished this literally, I think, like the last day of July, so like a little over a week ago. I really enjoyed it, but it was not what I was expecting. When I went to her book signing, she said that this was her most depressing book, but also the one with the most amount of smut. So I was curious how those two were going to go hand in hand. But I really liked it. Yeah, both the characters in this also had like a pretty fucked up childhood, and they kind of like are able to slowly share that with each other and help each other work through it, without feeling like the other one's like judging or pitying them, which I liked. But his company is trying to take over her company, basically, so she hates him because of that and doesn't want to like him, but they have like this instant attraction to each other, and they slowly develop like a friends with benefits, and then, you know, of course, slowly fall in love. But I really liked it. Yeah, I thought it was really fun. I don't think it was my favorite book of hers, honestly, but I still give it 4 stars. So yeah, that was everything I read during the summer. I feel like summer has the best like easy, fun romance reads. Like, I really enjoy the vibes of summer reading, but honestly, I don't read as much as I do in other months. But I enjoyed all of these books, and I'm excited to read some more in the fall and winter months. I was thinking about doing a what I want to read for the rest of the year, so let me know if you'd be interested in that, and I might do that next. But thank you guys for watching. Also, welcome to my new apartment. I don't know if this specific spot is where I'm going to be filming from now on, but this area and this apartment is, so I'm super excited. Okay, bye. Love you guys.